Namaste. Welcome to day 11. Today is a big day. We're covering a lot of Ayurveda, which is actually the life science behind yoga, and how it corroborates with a lot of the breathing exercises that we do. So I want to just take a step back and notice, the last 10, 11 days, we've really been talking a lot around our lifestyle, our habits, awareness, and then a lot of science, right? A lot of studies and data. Basically, what I want to do is just back up the philosophy with what science is proving now, modern science is proving now, with all the, the brain scans and the neurochemistry that's available to us. It's all corroborating with what the sages said. Slow down, find your balance, listen to your breath, feel your energy, right? That is no longer esoteric, because the fact is the data is proving the same thing. The data is saying, yes, your energy field, we can pick up health or disease before it even manifests on the body. Yes, there's a sphere of possibilities even around each and every single cell that somehow aligns to your intention. So quantum physics, neuroscience, there's so much rich research that has come in recently that say exactly what yoga has been purporting for 2,000 years. And I'm so grateful to be able to share this at a time where I feel like we need it most. We are battling when it comes to physical health. We are battling when it comes to all the distractions, where we really are called to choose or then be swept away. To choose our freedom, to choose our focus, to choose our energy levels. And Ayurveda has so succinctly categorized all of nature and the natural environments and the natural tendencies in our bodies and outside in 3 key categories: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. These are called the 3 doshas, or classifications of how Prakriti or nature puts together to have these elements. So similar like in traditional Chinese medicine, where they talk about earth and wood and water, in yoga, Vata has a predominance of air element. Kapha has a predominance of earth element, and Pitta has a predominance of fire element. So these 3 categories so beautifully link up to the 3 energy circuits, the 3 energy centers that we were talking about. Kapha, the earth element, the manifestation, the grounding, that all happens in your belly, in your abdominal center, your physical intelligence. Pitta, the fire, the passion, the drive, that is in your heart center. That awareness that when we tap into the center, we can expand it out as wide as we want. Right? And then Vata, the air element, the fast movement. This is our head element, right? The brain center, because how fast can our thoughts run? How quick can we put 2 connections together? It's in the mind, right? So the quickness, the speed of the mind, the air element, Vata, the passion, the connection, that really comes from the heart center, Pitta. And then the center, the steadfast, the grounding, this is from the earth element, Kapha. So Isn't this so beautiful to see? Amit Goswami is such a learned teacher around this principle of Ayurveda and the doshas. He also talks about how disease is an imbalance of one of the doshas. So if you think about somebody who's got no energy, who's really lethargic, obese, this is excessive kapha element. There's too much weight, there's too much connection to the earth element, that there's no fire, there's no speed. Somebody who's really, who can be quite aggressive, very ambitious, very determined, that can actually cause cardiac arrests and problems around the heart because there's too much of the pitta element, the fire. There's too much drive that it's pushing too far. And when that passion goes excessive, it becomes aggressive. And then if there's an imbalance in the vata principle, in the vata dosha, then there's too much air. There's too much fast moving thoughts. This is a lot of people nowadays where we're dealing with restlessness, anxiety, ADHD. We can't still. It's outward all the time and in so many different places at the same time. So these just 3 very simplistic principles, when boiled down, can give us such insight to our mental state and also any predispositions that these tendencies might carry, like gut health, obesity, or any cardiovascular problems, or any mental health problems. This is all connected in the Ayurvedic philosophy of the doshas. Also, it's so beautiful that you can see these doshas in even the foods that we eat. Say things from the earth, like root vegetables, the heavy, the starchy. It helps ground us, but also keeps our energy quite low, right? What is fiery? What is pitta foods? Yeah, you guessed it, spicy foods. Things that really light up your palate. Yeah, intense flavors. And then what could we eat that's vata, air element? Anything that's light. Yeah, so a salad or lots of light leafy greens. So what I'm also talking about here is balance in even what we eat and what serves us. Because in Ayurveda, like attracts like, and this is the same as in energy. When we are feeling the energy within, this is what manifests on the outside. Same with Ayurveda. When we hold that tendency, there's already a predisposition within us. Our preferences will exacerbate that imbalance. So if I have a tendency to be more pitta, for example, then most likely I would actually also like spicy food. So notice where your cravings are and what you can do to choose other things to bring you more balance. So if there's a day that I'm feeling very, very anxious and I'm so restless and I didn't sleep and it's really fitful in my mind, the last thing that will actually help my condition is a salad, which is very counterintuitive, right? But a salad is light, it's airy, it drives the vata, it drives that air principle. What instead I need is something neutralizing, kapha, the earth element. I need some root vegetables, I need something to ground me. Or maybe I'm feeling despondent, I'm feeling lackluster. Then maybe I need a drive, maybe I need something intense with flavor to activate the pitta in me. to drive me forward. So notice how what we eat, what our tendency is, and how we are attracted to what we know. Because at the end of the day, isn't that just human nature? We like what we know, right? And what's comfortable to us. It may not be good for us, but if there's comfort around it, we're attracted to it. So I actually had a client who was abused as a child, and that's all she knew, to be treated as a piece of meat. And what happened when she grew up? She married a man and was in another abusive relationship, because this is what she knows. And so it's her comfort, anything outside her comfort zone is scary, because the way we're wired is that whatever we've endured, we have survived. And if we've survived it, the risk is minimal, because we know we've survived it, we've endured it. But if it's a different set of possibilities, that's a risk, because we don't know if we'll survive that. And that's why so many people fear change so much, because it's something else. There's a new uncertain variable there. And if there's a risk associated to that, people much rather continue their known suffering than have an unknown joy, but because of the fear of change. So I basically ask you to just notice, just slow down and pay attention. Pay attention to what you're attracted to, why you're craving certain things. Is it your body trying to tell you something? Is there a deeper awareness that we can shine? And when we have that awareness, then we know how to create a solution, right? We know how to neutralize. Because none of these doshas are good or bad. They are in fact all there, and they come in different times. As children, we have more kapha, we have more earth element. And this helps us feel nurtured and feel grounded, and we can grow from this. As we enter adulthood, we have more pitta, because we want to achieve, because we want to make a name of ourselves. We want to have an identity. There is the natural push where pitta is elevated. And then as we become older, you see like Alzheimer's, dementia, all of this happens in old age because of the vata principle. The vata principle also in the body is where arthritis happens. There's too much air in the joints as well. So this is something to just be aware. It's a natural progression of life. But how can we make our choices so we stay in balance in whatever phase of life we're at? I mean, the flux of the doshas are also available during the day. You wake up and you need some pitta to start your day. You need some ambition, you need some drive to do your work, to do so much mental rigor. You need that vata. You need things to happen fast and quickly, the processing to take place. But then to also, at the end of the day, to retire, to go to sleep. Kapha, earth element, is necessary. Otherwise, you're only going to be stuck in your mind, which actually happens to so many of us too. Right? So that's why kapha is needed. So what I'm going to tell you now is how we can link the dots, how we can use our breathing to accelerate certain qualities, certain, even in Ayurveda, even in the doshas that we have in ourselves, so that we can stay in balance. Yeah. So you know everything. You've done this already. So we're going into Vajrasana, the thunderbolt position, or you're sitting on your heels, and in your belly, this is kapha, right? We've already talked about. This is the dosha of the earth element. This is the physical intelligence. So if you're finding like you're restless, you're anxious, let's do belly breathing so that we can neutralize the effects of the overplay of the air element and bring it back to center. So you just inhale, exhale. Try to keep with Ujjayi as you breathe into this. Now what if you feel stop short? What if you feel a bit aimless, a bit directionless, unable to know where your calling is, where your passion lies? Then what do we need? We need pitta, right? We need some fire element, some work around the heart center. This inspires love, it inspires a sense of productivity. So you simply, like we did before, hands at your thorax, at your rib cage, and just breathe in. And just feel the space. You're basically sending your energy into this space. Whenever you feel imbalanced, one center is feeling depleted. So all you do is send your awareness, send your breath, send your attention into this region. And what if you're feeling really dull, really slow, really lethargic? Then you just need to pick up the pace, invite more of that air element, and breathe up into the chest. I just want to make a small distinction here. Be discerning in whether you are exhausted and tired and needing a rest, or you're feeling lazy. Because if you're feeling burnt out and you give yourself more air element, you're actually exacerbating that sense of burnout. You want to deeply nourish yourself with the belly breath. But if you've really just been on the couch, kind of out of sorts, feeling lazy, can't be bothered to do anything, then yes, we can add a little bit more oomph to your step and bring in some air element, which is simply breathing up into the chest. And just notice the movement and the rhythm. The deep, slow breaths wherever you're breathing into. You're doing it gently, slowly, deeply. You're hearing the ha sound at the back of your breath as you use Ujjayi breathing. Good. Now what if you're feeling a couple of things? Maybe you're overexcited, overambitious, but you're also not propelled to do anything, put any action behind it, or there's too much air and there's too much fire. So whatever it is, if you are feeling like there's a contrast, it's not so clear cut where I know exactly which energy center and which dosha I should be focusing on, then I ask you to just do a radiance circuit, which is simply just hitting upgrade on your system. It's just elevating your energy symbiotically so you really feel a balance, but you're raising the energy and balancing it at the same time. And that's simply done with your heart, hands at your heart. And as you inhale, you bring your hands beside you, just like wings of the bird. And then you lift them up to the crown of your head. And then hands together. Exhale, palms back to your heart. Okay? So you inhale, you're drawing a circle, nice and big. The origin and the end at the heart center. Exhale. Yeah. So you're inhaling and you're expanding the heart, and you breathe so that at the top of your breath, your hands come to meet. And then as you lower your hands, you exhale. Inhale. Just feel a pause, the fullness. Exhale. Feel a pause, the empty. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Go nice and wide with the arm. Feel the torso lift, the back lengthen. Exhale the softness as you gently bend your elbows. Inhale. And exhale. So this is it. You have the solution. Just check in. Allow yourself to slow down, introspect, reflect. What do I need right now? And you've got a whole toolbox to really administer what it is that you need to feel like you can find your balance, find your freedom, and really thrive. Namaste. See you tomorrow.